What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey Kramer, and I'm a real estate investor and Airbnb host. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you the exact pricing strategy I use for my furnished rentals. And most importantly, using what I call the hybrid strategy, is where you do a short-term rental and a mid-term rental for your property to maximize the cash flow. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So I use this software called PriceLabs. It makes the automating of what I'm going to show you so much easier. And if you use PriceLabs, you can literally copy the settings I'm about to show you. And if you don't have PriceLabs, you can sign up. I'll leave a link below. And again, you can copy the exact settings that I use for my property. So I have a customization called Hybrid Strategy. I'm going to press on Edit, and I'm going to walk you through what each customization means and why it is so important for the hybrid strategy. All right. So the most important thing out of everything when it comes to midterm rentals is your minimum night stay settings. This is the biggest quote unquote secret there is to midterm rentals. It doesn't matter where you list your property. All that stuff is out the window if you don't have this minimum stay settings correctly. So this is the main part right here. So by default, okay, my properties have a 28 night minimum. All right. So just think about that really simply. If I were to throw it out there, you can only stay at my property for a minimum of 28 nights. Now, if I continue to scroll down, you're going to see rules that I put in place that make exceptions to this 28 night minimum stay rule. So for example, let me scroll down. I'll get back to the orphan day gaps in a little bit here. If someone's going to book my property last minute, okay, so let's just say someone's going to book my property within 7 nights. So they're going to book it 5 nights in advance, 4 nights in advance, because let's just say it's available. Then I now only have a 2 night minimum. Okay, a 2 night minimum. So I went from 28 night minimum to now, hey, if you're going to book in the next 7 days, just for 2 nights is fine. If someone's going to book my property within 14 nights, meaning if they're going to book it 9 nights in advance, let's just say, they only have to stay for 3 nights. So they do not have to stay for 28 nights. They can do for 3 nights. By having this last minute booking settings turned on, it allows me to rent my property as a short-term rental when the property is vacant, but also not jeopardize the property of losing out on a midterm rental booking. Okay. That's why these settings right here are so important. And then if I go down a little bit further, you're going to see far out bookings. So if someone wants to book my property 3 months in advance, right? At that point, the 28 night minimum isn't enough for me, because if they just book for 28 nights, 3 months in advance, I do not consider that a win. If they book 2 months in advance, okay, 60 days in advance, the minimum nights they must stay is 60 nights. Okay. And this will ensure that you maximize cash flow again for your property. Now, let me go back up to the orphan gaps. This gets a little confusing, but let me walk you through it. So what an orphan gap means is, let's just say you have 2 bookings. Okay. You have booking A right here. And then once they check out, you have booking B right here. Now, in between those 2 bookings, there's going to be some sort of gap, right? It could be 1 day. It could be 5 days. It could be 30 days. The gap that it is could range. So we're going to have these settings to tell our calendar what to do if there's these different length of gaps. So in this case scenario, if there's a gap in the calendar between the 2 bookings of 2 nights to 7 nights, we will have a 2 night minimum. Okay. If the gap is between 8 nights long and 14 nights long, we're going to have a 3 night minimum. And if that gap is 15 nights to 28 nights, we are going to have a 4 night minimum. Okay. And again, this is going to ensure that no matter how far out the gap is, these settings will override and take control. Another thing that I highly recommend you guys do is check your calendars every single week, at least once a week, to make sure that these settings are correct and are functioning properly for your property. There are times where I'll make adjustments on a weekly basis, depending on how my property is doing. And if I have multiple properties in that market, I'll make additional tweaks as needed as well. So I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this video. If you have any questions, because I know pricing can be a complex topic, please leave them in the comments below, and I will either answer your comment or I'll make a video answering your comment. That way you can master pricing for your midterm rentals. That's all I got, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.